Welcome to a very, very special edition of Geekdom Q&A as I answer your questions from Facebook. That's right, this is an exclusive bonus Q&A for all of the Facebook followers. And the only way to get your question answered, because I will be doing a few more of these in the future, is to go ahead and go to the Geekdom 101 Facebook, facebook.com/Geekdom 101. You see it right there. Go ahead and go to the Facebook, like the page, and you'll get access to, essentially, when I put these up, you'll get access to ask me exclusive questions. And then it's pretty much guaranteed they won't get lost in the ask.fm. So let's go ahead and do it. Let us go ahead and answer your questions here. I have a lot of questions. Let's see if I can get through all of these here in this video. I hope to. So here we go. Jamal Johnson, what is the one thing you are looking for in Dragon Ball Super that it hasn't? I guess what hasn't happened yet. I want to see Beerus versus Champa, or I want to see Champa actually fight. I want to see Whis and Vados fight seriously. Those are two things I really want to see. I know a lot of fans want to see Gohan. A lot of Gohan fans want him to come back. I've seen so many Gohan fans in the community. And that's fine. That's all well and good. But I think that's better if I think it's better if they, give Champa and some of the new characters, see what they can really do. And, of course, right here I'm drinking tea for the working man. Let me get a sip. And the working men and women out there paying them gimmicks in the mail called bills. All right, moving on. Brandon Pollard. Hey, Geekdom, you're awesome, and I love how much you communicate with followers. Thank you. Random life question. What's the first job you had? First job I ever had was working at McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's way back when I was a teenager, and it was... I didn't hate it back then, but now looking back, the pay was horrible. I was actually the victim of racism when I was at that job and discrimination. I met a couple cool friends there, though, which was good. That I actually lost contact with. I wish I could still get a hold of them. And like KRS2, my old buddy KRS2. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's just not for me. It's just McDonald's is not for me. It's a teenage job. You get it when you're young, and you hope to get out of there someday. But, hey, some people like it, so what can I say? Daniel Isaac Velasco Angeles. What do you expect to happen after the Slice of Life episodes? I'm not really sure. I think we might jump into the next tournament. It's possible. But I kind of hope they don't do that unless it's going to be a backdrop for a bigger arc. I'm thinking they might do it, but we also may not see it. I think they need to kind of take a break from the tournament and do something else and then go back to it. But that's the only information that we have. It's the only thing that we know is going to happen is that. So, Robert Castillo, have you heard of Street Outlaws or the Chief and Sean Show podcast? Recommend these guys, Danny, especially their podcast, which is in the top 10% with only a few episodes. Never heard of them, but I'll give it a try. Jonathan Gonzalez, if you had to choose one universe to live in for the rest of your life, what would it be? Star Wars, DC, Marvel, Dragon Ball, which one? Well, these are all very dangerous places to live, filled with superhuman characters that could wipe us all out in an instant. But I guess I would pick Dragon Ball because at least I have a chance to get the Dragon Balls and prevent that from happening. Rudy Vasquez, what are your top 5? Or is it Vasquez? Probably Vasquez. What are your top 5 DC animated films? A couple of mine are Under the Red Hood and both Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. I like Dark Knight Returns. Mask of the Phantasm, to me, is still the best Batman movie ever made. At least the most accurate. I like the Superman Batman movie. What was it? What was it called? World's Finest. I like that one. And I really like the... what was it? I saw it years ago. There was like a Justice League movie that was straight to DVD I thought was really good. Derek Hulvey, how are you? I'm fine. Oh, sorry about that, yo. Get back down here. Thank you for asking. Javier Atkins Silva, play much of Dark Souls. I've actually never played Dark Souls before, and I know that it's tough. So not tough. I know it's good, but I haven't been able to play it yet. Ant Razul X, explain hits improvement ability to the best of your knowledge so far. Well, there really isn't much to explain because, like you even said, to the best of my knowledge, we don't really know what Hit can do and how he does it. But basically, from what I understand, in combat, he just gets better and better. He gets stronger and stronger. He becomes just a better fighter. Is that because he's been around for so long? Is it because he's just a well-trained guy? We don't even know anything about his backstory, like who trained him and things like that. We know he's about 1,000 years old. So basically, the way it works is that whenever he fights somebody who shows a lot of strength, he pretty much gets stronger. It's kind of like a Zenkai boost, except it happens during the fight. He doesn't have to get beat up for it to happen. So, very strong character, this hit. If you could create a new race in the Dragon Ball universe, what would it look like and what abilities and forms would it have? I would create the race of the Swaggarians, and I would be their leader. I'm not Cuban anymore. I'm Swaggarian from Swagaria. Jake Mikhail, does it make you sad how useless the supporting characters have become? I really enjoyed Resurrection F part where all our favorite warriors demolishing that 1,000-man army. It was just like Dragon Ball in the first half of Z. Also, are you sad they sort of watered down that part in the Super version? They didn't take out the army, just a few soldiers. Agree with everything you just said. I don't know if the word is sad. That's not the word I would use. I would use the word disappointed more than sad. Jordan William Varga, if you could have mutually consenting, hot, passionate sex with a Dragon Ball character, who would it be? I think the only appropriate answer is Oolong. Oolong would be nice because I want my dick to smell like bacon like Kermit the Frog does. But no, I would go with Marin. Not Krillin's daughter. Krillin's ex from the Guard Jr. saga. Oh, but she's non-canon. Them titties are fucking canon, brother. That booty is canon, alright? Eat it. John Roman, if Frieza was a good guy, would he be stronger than Goku and Vegeta if they were to be allies? And would he beat Goku's greatest rival? Yes. What attracts you to wrestling now? I quit watching it in the early 2000s. In my opinion, it's too tame and lame anymore. Great question from Jake. Did you already ask one? Oh, Jake. Yeah, he's up there. I'll answer it again. Yeah, or I'll answer this one. I just always am going to love wrestling, even though it does suck. Like it's not even about it being tame. It's more so about it being just very. I mean, I guess that's a good word. It's very homogenized. It's very scripted. Very boring. I don't really watch wrestling that often as much as I used to. Like but I still follow it. Like I still read up on what's going on. I'll watch Raw occasionally. I actually stopped watching Raw for several weeks last year. Because it got real bad. And I would have never done that before. Like, it got really, really boring. But these past, 6 weeks since WrestleMania, it's been a pretty good show. Like, it's been, honestly, a really fun show. But the ratings are down. So it's like, shit. What can you do? Caesar Spoderman. If Dragon Ball Super gets dubbed, do you think they will keep the JP score we have now? Or will they do something similar on what they did to Kai before the plagiarism thing by adding a new score? Love your videos. They didn't do anything with Kai. That wasn't Funimation who did that. That was Toei who did that. That's not Funimation who changed the score on Kai. Kenji Yamamoto was busted for plagiarism, like you stated, and he was replaced by Toei, not by Funimation. And no, I think they're gonna keep they're gonna keep Sumitomo. They're not gonna change the score. John Dasoda, how'd you get on Frieza's good side? You have nothing to fear. He's a pussy. Well, he's my favorite character, so that's how. I sucked off his tail. How about that? Brooks Bledsoe. I really think Tenshinhan is stronger than Krillin. I know Toriyama said that Krillin's the strongest human, but I feel there's lots of evidence out there that backs up witnessing is believing, and why is it so hard for him to believe what Toriyama said? Wondering your thoughts. I agree with you. It does seem like Tenshinhan is stronger. Toriyama said that recently in the Resurrection F. I believe it was Resurrection F pamphlet that Krillin's the strongest human. I just still think that that Tenshinhan is stronger. It's just the feats are there. But maybe Krillin trained. I just don't think so. I think that's he doesn't. Little sip here. Do you think that the next set of gods will be the highest tier? It's whatever Toriyama wants, bro. Whatever Toriyama wants. Rudy Juarez the third, or is it Juarez? I know who this guy is. Why hasn't Broly shown up yet in Super? I don't know, but it's bothering me, right? Have you ever seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies? And if so, which one's your favorite? I actually own the entire box set on Blu-ray, which I highly recommend to anybody who's a fan of these movies. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. My favorite ones are number 1 and number 3. Those are my two favorites. Number 4 was okay. Number 6 was alright. New Nightmare was kind of creepy. But number 1 and number 3, I think, are the best ones. Jimmy Hager. Hey, Danny, do you ever see yourself getting into the new Star Wars EU, not Legends? I actually am into it. I've read the Darth Vader books, and I've read the Star Wars Volume 1, the collected edition. So I am in it. I'm not as in it as I want to be. I'm still a little bit behind on some of the newer stuff, but the stuff that came out last year, I'm pretty much caught up on. Jimmy Flores, power scaling wise, how do you expect or how do you predict the new God of Gods to compare to Whis and Beerus? You're referring to the Omni King, and I think that he is stronger because he can wipe out the entire 12 universe Omniverse in a blink of an eye. So yeah, he's stronger. Javier Phoenix, do you think we'll start seeing omnipotent beings and forms in Dragon Ball Super? I think that with this King of Kings guy, we may already have. Kevin Beaver. Beaver. Hey, Geekdom, I have a manga series that isn't very popular. You mind giving me a bit of a shout out? If not, cool. That's fine. If you do decide it's Ultimate Fighters. All right, well, here's your shout out. Oh, shit. I'm using incognito because I can't log in under my thing. It's being weird. All right, folks. Well, go to my Facebook. Find this thread right here. And then go check out Kevin Beaver's Ultimate Fighters. Here is the highlight right there. I actually really like the art, bro. So I'm actually going to check that out. That looks really good. Like, not kidding. Ricardo Chavez. Geekdom, do you ever think Gohan will reach God status or anyone else past Goku and Vegeta? No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. I'm saying I don't think it's going to happen. How about that? I just don't see it. Who do you think is going to be the next up-and-coming foe in the Dragon Ball universe? I have no idea. I think it's going to be a brand new person. Brand new villain. We'll probably see them in the Omniversal tournament or whatever. Rigo D. Sandoval, yo, Danny, this has bothered me for some time. Why does Steve Simmons subs refer to Goku as Kakarot and not Kakaroto? That's a great question. That's actually a better question for Herms, but essentially, yes, Kakaroto is the correct name. Kakaroto makes sense. The thing is that the toe is supposed to be like somewhat like semi-silent. Kakarot is actually a closer translation to the pun. The problem is that when they were translating this originally, Vegito wasn't created, way back when. I guess they didn't realize it or whatever. Maybe they didn't even know. I'm not entirely sure. But obviously, Vegeta and Kakaroto make Vegito, right? But when you have just Kakarot, it makes no sense. It makes Vegirat, which is what Viz translated it as incorrectly. So, that's a question for Steve Sims, bro. What do you think of Turles and the Tree of Might from Anthony Yosef? I like that movie. It's a fun little movie. Michael Ojeda, is Monaka actually Broly? Yes, he is. Mario Rico, do you even lift? I do. Christian Vasquez, how are you doing? I'm good. How were your high school days? Amazing, actually. I'll tell stories one day about that. What's one major thing you would change in DB Super? Keep up the great vids. I enjoy them a lot. Well, thank you, first of all. I appreciate that. What do I think? One major thing I would change. I would create more of a sense of dread. We need like a serious villain. Like, I'm cool with all this comedy, but I really want there to be an actual like threat, and I want to see the baby faces, the good guys, get out of it. I do think we need to see that in Super, and I want to see more God action. I don't want this to be just the Goku and Vegeta show. It's kind of getting old, in that sense. Plus, the plot holes are pissing me off. Having some soup there. Yes, folks, I have soup and tea. And no, I'm not sick, but I might end up being sick. Hopefully not, right? Travis Scott. Danny, do you think they are going to introduce Potara Fusion again? I don't think they just split Kibito and Supreme Kai for the hell of it. I did a video about this. Go to my channel, look up Vegito returning in Dragon Ball Super. In the Dragon Ball Super News and Updates playlist. It should be in there. If not, it's in the Dragon Ball Discussions playlist. Me and Rhymestyle chopped it up about that. Yes, I do think it might come back. Brad Jackson, Dragon Ball characters versus DC comic characters, and your thoughts on the best fight would be between any of the two from these universes. Martian Manhunter Piccolo is the one I want to see, just because they're green. And DC would probably edge them out. Not all of them, but like the New Gods and Superman Prime, just. But it's hard to do inter-universe stuff, because if this guy, the Omni King, can wipe out everything in the blink of an eye, then he beats everybody, right? He's like the one above all. Denise D, what is your all-time favorite comic book film? Also, your all-time favorite Dragon Ball Z GTS moment. Well, there's way too many moments to name, Denise, so I don't really. That's gonna be like maybe a video later on. My all-time favorite comic book film. I have not seen Civil War yet, as of this recording. I'm sure I will. I'm actually gonna go see it opening night here in North America, so I'll have a review up this week. But I like Superman 2. I like Batman 89. I really do like that movie. I like X-Men 2 and Days of Futures Past. I like Spider-Man 2. Um, Captain America: The Winter Soldier is amazing. Amazing movie. Shit. What's my favorite? Probably Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. But I have to really think about that because I actually think that Batman 1 is probably a little more enjoyable. But I like both. Carbon Cooper. How isn't Goku as strong as Beerus yet? It puzzles me after the 3 years of training in the Room of Spirit and Time. I made a video about that and it really doesn't make any sense. I agree with you. Omega Rockman. I know you. While we as fans can watch and enjoy Dragon Ball Z despite its sometimes dreadful pacing, for newcomers it can be a huge barrier to entry. For this reason, I think that the best way to introduce newcomers to the Z portion of the series, besides the manga, is through Kai, regardless of whether the newcomer plans to watch it dubbed or subbed. What are your thoughts on this? Well, let me read your question. I'll give you my thoughts. Would you introduce your non-initiated friends to the Z material through Kai over the original Z, even if they were open to watching it subbed? And for simplicity's sake, let's assume the version of Kai we're using in this scenario is fine with the Kikuchi scores. It's the only in-print version on the market. Sorry for the long-winded question, man. Thank you for your contribution to the community. Well, thank you, first of all, for everything. Number one, I would introduce somebody to Dragon Ball first because the right way to watch it is Dragon Ball, then Z. That's just it. But if somebody wanted to watch it a little bit faster, I would totally have them watch the Kai dub. If they're going to watch it sub, though, then watch Dragon Ball Z. The way that I put it as far as quality goes is Z dub. No, that's wrong. That's actually very wrong. All right, from best to worst. Z subbed, Kai dubbed, Kai subbed, Z dubbed. Because the Kai dub, I feel, is actually slightly better than the Kai sub, because the Kai sub, I feel like the voice actors phoned it in. But the Z dub, or the Z sub, the original one from the 90s that Masako Nozawa and them did is amazing. Amazing. Ulysses Ruiz, would you like to see a battle where Goku and Hit teamed up to battle against the Gods of Destruction, Beerus, and Champa? Yes. Even though I think the Gods would win. What are your thoughts on Sumitomo's work so far? And do you like Kikuchi Yamamoto score more? I love Kikuchi more, but I like Yamamoto too. And my thoughts on Sumitomo is that he's very, 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 very inconsistent. He's had some epic scores and epic moments. He's had some shitty ones. I kind of wish Kikuchi was still around, but that's the guy who they got now. Charles Howie Mavis, do you think we'll have an arc around Planet Salad? Yes. How do you think it'll go down? I don't know yet. I have to give it some thought. These are kind of off-the-cuff Q&A questions, and we still have a lot left. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this done. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to answer all the questions. There's too many of them, you know? There's way too many of them. I might come back with another one of these, by the way, and finish. So, Chris Wallace. Well, actually, Chris Wallace, the greatest rapper of all time, died on March 9th. Favorite more from the manga. Well, there is no Dragon Ball Z manga, but yeah. No, I like Gohan ripping up the Cell Juniors in the manga. It's a lot more violent. Did finishing One Punch Man make you want to watch any other newer anime? Not really. I have too much stuff on my plate. I do want to watch My Hero Academia and check that out, and Hunter x Hunter. I do want to watch those, but right now I'm actually going to start rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho very soon, so enjoying that. Vinit Korpal, I hope I said your name right. How would you feel if Zeno, the king of all universes, came to announce a Hunger Games type of battle for all 12 universes? Like a battle arena of all the top fighters where the top universe that wins gets special treatment. Well, that Hunger Games, was originally called Battle Royale, actually. It's an old movie from Japan, and I would love it. I would love it, but it seems kind of uncharacteristic for Toriyama to do something like that. Alfredo, will Vince Russo, good old DR, Billionaire Ted, Vince McMahon, or Quavi, it's Hoovy Juice, bro, but to any of your Q&As. I don't think they're going to be coming to the Q&As, but they will be on K-Fabulous. He's talking about the K-Fabulous Lucha Brothers Wrestling Show. Go listen to it. I'm the host. One of the hosts. One of the Lucha Brothers. Sergio Lunede, do you think that Hit would be joining Goku and Vegeta against the next villain and maybe become an important character for Super? I certainly hope so. Michael Mijdani, is not somewhat inevitable that another Dragon Ball movie 16, will come out at some point down the road, given the theatrical finances of 14 and 15 worldwide? I'd say yes. If so, do you think it'll be non-canon like 1 through 13 or semi-canon like 14 and 15? It's hard to imagine movie 16 being canon because it would be super awkward trying to fit that into the flow of the anime without being glaringly redundant. This is assuming if movie 16 does happen while DBS is still ongoing. That's a tough question, bro. If it's, I think we'll see another movie down the road. I don't think we're gonna see it anytime soon. Maybe after Super's over. I think we'll see it. Yeah, unless they try to make it fit. I mean, they can. It's whatever they want to do. But I could totally see your scenario about it being like semi-canon or whatever. I don't like using that word. It's just a weird word, like, you know. But they might do it. Who knows? Mark Hunt. I don't know if this is the same Mark Hunt from, you know, like UFC and Pride, but check out some Samari Champion. Really good series. I'll keep that in mind. Christian Medrano, what's your favorite wrestling moment? That's way too... There's way too much to answer there, bro. I can't even answer that right now. I apologize. Just way too much, like, too many memories. Brett Harrison, favorite underrated character? Tao Pai Pai. Definitely Tao Pai Pai. Mario Hernandez, will we ever see an all-12 universe tournament to end Super after the Z ending? It would be really cool to see everyone's own Kaios, Gods of Destruction, and Strongest Warrior going all out. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's after the Z ending, but I think we're gonna get it. So yeah. Michael Oduro, how good does Dick taste? Well, it's over 9,000 productions. You tell me. Vidhan Kalindi, do you think Hironobu Kageyama will make music for Dragon Ball Super or for the upcoming Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 opening? I wish he would. I haven't seen him in a few years. I wish that he would, though. I really do. Will you ever get into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? If you haven't already, it's a great series, one that I think will be right up your alley. I know that you know of it, having mentioned it in the past, from George Daly. Sure. I'll give it a try. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to answer like 2 more, and then what I'll do is I'll close out the Q&A, and I will actually start with Jonathan. The next Q&A that I do, it's not going to be next week or the week after. I'm going to actually answer... Actually, I'm going to end with Jonathan, and then I will start with Eric McKibben. So I'm going to make a note of that. I will be answering these questions in the future. I will start with Eric and go down. But in the meantime, I'll finish up with these right here, okay? I will do a follow-up with all these down here. I assure you of that. Will you ever get into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure if you haven't already? Oh, he already asked me that. Sorry, I read it again. Chris Peterson, Geekdom, the #1 place for everything awesome. Thank you. Have you heard anything recent about a super English dub? Can't really talk about that right now. Also, I heard something about an Asian dub that would be in English. Yes, that is true, and I reported it on the channel. What's your thoughts? Go to my channel, look up Dragon Ball Super English dub. You're going to see a couple videos there where I talk about it. So... anything before asking me a question, folks, check out the channel because I might have the answer for you on the channel. Geekdom 101 on YouTube. You're on here right now. Adam Fonkeka. Hope I didn't fuck up your name. Do you think Gohan could be training with King Kai? No. And what good would that do at this point, bro? I mean, what could he learn? The Kaioken maybe, but then what? Jonathan Jimenez. Do you have or have ever smoked weed or snorted cocaine before? No comment. How old are you? I've answered that before. And last question, do you not get overwhelmed ever by what you do? Actually, yes, I'm overwhelmed all the time. I'm always thinking about videos. I've already got ideas, just a matter of getting them done. If news breaks, I got to make sure that I get that squared away and perfect. And, it is doing this YouTube thing and running the website, geekdom101.com, and all that shit is very, definitely overwhelming sometimes. Which is why sometimes you gotta just unplug, disconnect, and just enjoy life. So that's it for this Facebook exclusive Geekdom 101 Q&A. I will start right here with Eric McKibben on the next Facebook Q&A. I may do another Q&A in between, right? Or I might do it this week. It depends on how time permits. But I will start right here with Eric McKibben. Thank you as always for supporting the channel. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm sure most of you already have. And hey, have a great one. I'll catch you down the road.